Hey guys, so I seeded these onions on January 5th and it is time to transplant them before they root too closely together. So you can see they're pretty thick. So I'm not going to fill them too heavily because I want to be able to get my roots in there. So this size of tray is a little bit on the small side. So I'm not going to put all of them in here, but I will demonstrate with this tray. Just start with, and I'm just going to transfer my tag so I don't forget which one this is. So I had transplanted these, or seeded these in a very loose compost, and you can see how easily they're coming apart. Just to get you a better angle here. So they're just coming apart really easily. Just trying my best not to damage them too much in the process. Got a little paintbrush. So you can see our little seedling here. That's the root end there, and then that's the top. I'm just going to make sure that I get that guy in there. We'll add more soil to top it up later on. And you can put the you can put them deeper in the soil than just the barest tip of the roots. Obviously, it's still not going to be very deep once they're big bulbs. It just looks deep now because they're tiny. So I'll give you another close-up here. So this is your root, and right here at the base, that is where your onion bulb is going to form. And then I'm just going to be very delicate and firm in a little bit of soil around them. If the soil sinks in too much after watering, you can always go in with some more later on. Just want enough in there to give it something to root onto. Another thing to know about onions is that they are quite cold hardy, and my onions last year I put out I think the first week of May, and they survived a couple of -7 nights, so they can definitely handle a little bit of cold. So again, these will get planted out before the end of May, which is my normal planting out date. For these, I'll probably, depending on the weather and the forecasts and stuff, I'll probably put them out under a cover at the end of April if I can. So you might have wondered what I will be doing with some of my extra onions. And as per usual, I just can't bring myself to throw them all away. So I'm going to plant another little temporary tray full of them however many I can fit. And these are going to be, let's see, there's a few more in here. These are going to be used like green onions. And they can actually get transplanted into the garden like green onions and just get cut regularly. Or they might just grow in a windowsill through the year so that I can harvest some green onions from them. Now there's a bunch of little guys that don't look very promising, but better looking ones that are leftovers will go in this pot. And I'm not going to worry about which varieties go in here, I'm just going to put a bunch in them. So I had purchased a big chunk of garlic the other day, and I found that it's got these lovely little sprouts on them. So I used up the rest of the garlic, but the stuff that's got eyes on it, there's another eye on here, right here. And then there's another big sprout here. I broke these off. I've soaked them for about 24 hours. I know they normally say to just soak it if it's not got anything on it in order to get it to sprout, but I figured it wouldn't be a bad idea to rehydrate them before I plant them out. So I'm just going to go ahead and bury each sprout. I think I'm just going to bury them about like that so that the sort of bulbous part will get buried, but the green portion can still stick out of the ground. I've never actually grown garlic indoors before. These will be grown indoors through the rest of spring, and if all goes well, then they will get put in the greenhouse in summer to grow through the rest of summer, and we'll see how they're doing from there. Let me bury that one at a little bit more of an angle. But I do enjoy experimenting with some more tropical plants, and I'm hoping these guys do really well. These ones, because they don't have green on them yet, I'm just going to pretty much completely bury them. I'll maybe pull it up just a little bit so it gets a little bit of light. That might help it to sprout. One last thing I'm going to be working on this week is I am going to begin sprouting a sweet potato. I'm going to guess that the sprouts are going to come out of that end. In fact, you can see some already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the top end. So this end is where the original root attachment was. That is going to be the growing end. So this end I'm going to peel and cook and eat for supper. And this end is going to get put in a pot of soil. I know a lot of people do this in water, but I have a hard time keeping the water from being stagnant and funky. So I'm just going to bury this in a little bit of soil. And then as the sprouts grow, once they're about 6 inches long or have multiple leaves on them, depending on sun conditions, they can get a bit leggy, I can snip off those shoots, and then I'll root those in water and put them in dirt, and those will be my individual plants. This is just a sweet potato I bought from the grocery store, and I looked for something that looked like it could sprout. I know some have a growth inhibitor on them. This one clearly doesn't. So I'm just going to keep that nice and damp in there, and that'll go in the tray with the ginger, and it'll sprout, and we'll get some shoots. I think they're called slips when it comes to sweet potatoes. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.